So the number one thing I wish I knew before graduate school was to not be afraid to ask questions. And I know this sounds really basic and it sounds obvious. I had this initial perspective of I needed to know everything, but the truth of the matter is that you don't know everything and you're there in graduate school to learn. So the number one thing I wish I would have known was don't be afraid to ask questions. It doesn't really matter what kind of question you need to ask. If it's something very simple, it's okay to just go in there and ask your supervisor. That's where I kind of struggled a little bit, that communication between supervisor and clinician. The thing that I wish I would have done more in my first semester of graduate school was communication. So if you guys don't know, you typically have a session, a speech session with a client, and then your supervisor is either observing you from these video cameras, would watch you from a camera, and then you would do therapy, and they will take notes and give you feedback on a piece of paper. Even though your supervisors are giving you feedback after the session, it's important to always go in and ask follow-up questions. Written communication can be misinterpreted. Third thing I wish I would have known before going into graduate school is research. It's so easy to go on your Google Chrome and Google therapy ideas. I had to do my own research in order to enhance my therapy session, or to understand why the therapy techniques were important for that child or for that adult and what it helped them to achieve. And it also helps you in therapy so that you can explain to parents or to the adult clients why a certain therapy technique is important. So I'm going to share a website that really helped me understand the goals that I was implementing. So the website that I use is speechandlanguagekids.com. The next website that I use is called Tactus Therapy. This one's tailored more towards adults. If you're doing therapy on adults and you don't know why a particular goal is important or what it helps with, you can go on to Tactus Therapy. So that's another website that I use. The next thing I wish I knew before going into graduate school is that you're not going to have enough time in the day to do everything. You may not get all A's, you may get some B's here and there, and I think in undergrad we're pushed to get all A's and we're pushed to get the best grades possible. But in graduate school, what's most important is to understand your role as a speech language pathologist. It's also really helpful to have people that you can go to, like other cohort members that you guys can study with each other. That load of schoolwork is divided in half so that you guys don't have too much on your plate. The next thing that I wish I knew before graduate school is to be super organized. In graduate school, there's so many things that you have to complete. I make a separate to-do list for clinic and a separate to-do list for courses. I also write everything down on sticky notes. I write it on a sticky note and then I transfer whatever I wrote on my sticky note to my calendar. So if my calendar is not present at that time, I write it on the sticky note and then I wait till I'm home and then I transfer it onto my calendar. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave your comments down below. I will be sure to respond. You could also email me. I'll also leave that in the description down below.